Tonight's tale, Heartstopper by Sienna Mercer, comes from Half Minute Horrors, a collection of stories from famous children's authors and artists. My camp counselor sniffled. My grams always said that if you fall into freezing cold water, your heart will stop. She peered down at the dark water. It was so terrible, her voice whispered. The two of us stood on the dock, huddled together for warmth in our doubled-up socks. It was the first time I'd been this close to the water since Sherry died. It had been 2 days, and the same odd wintry chill still hadn't lifted from the lake. I put my head on my counselor's shoulder. She had been the person closest to the accident when it happened. You should have heard her scream, my counselor said, her chest heaving. I shivered. We'd all heard it up in girls' camp, but I didn't want to correct her. I thought it was the strangled howl of an animal being attacked. It wasn't your fault, I said, trying to comfort her. My counselor didn't say anything, and finally I lifted my head and saw that she was grinning. My mouth flew open and she shoved me off the dock with her palms wide open. Wet Sand, Little Teeth by Mariko Tamaki. The hole was about 4 feet deep and 3 feet wide. And mostly, it was just a hole this girl Jenny from 3 cottages over found. Jenny said she saw someone digging the hole, although she didn't know why someone would. Like, create this big hole and then just leave it there. I'd never seen anyone walking around with a shovel, but Jenny said she saw a guy. In some ways, the hole appeared almost as mysteriously as Jenny, who just sort of showed up on our porch one day, looking for snacks and someone to play with. Wow, that kid sure is little for someone who eats so much, my dad used to say. She looks like a lemur. Mom said to ignore Dad. It's good she finally gets someone her age up here after all of her wishing. It may seem strange, but playing in the hole with Jenny was really fun. Jenny had a million games that involved a hole in the sand. The hole itself was kind of cool. Every day, Jenny and I found some new weird thing pushed into the sand in the bottom. One time, it was a pile of teeth Jenny said were small white stones, but they were pointy. Once, it was a chewed-up flip-flop. We would play there together all day until about the time when it started to get dark. As soon as there was a hint of not sunshine anymore, Jenny would always find some reason to get out of the hole, typically by demanding it was time to go get a popsicle at my place. You can't stay here. We can't stay here, she'd always insist. Get out of the hole. Jenny was a bit bossy. I don't exactly remember all the things that happened that day in August. At some point, Jenny and I were fighting about something, by which I mean that Jenny probably wanted something and I wouldn't give it to her. That evening, when the sun started to set, Jenny jumped out of the hole and said I should stay. Stay, she whispered as she crawled out. Go ahead. At first, nothing happened. Then the dark started spreading over the sand and sank into the hole. And that's when I felt it. Something touching me, like a finger. At first I thought it was a sand toad. Jenny? Then there was a sound, like a swallow in reverse. Gravelly. And then it grabbed my feet, something with strong, scratchy hands. I kicked 1 foot free, tried to reach out to Jenny, but she was walking away. I watched her disappear, watched her feet as I grabbed for the edge of the hole, which I couldn't really grab because it was sand. Then the something grabbed my shoulder. I took a deep breath and it felt like a hammer in my throat, and I blacked out. When I woke up, my mom was wrapping me in a beach towel. My dad was holding a flashlight looking at me. What's that on her shoulder? Mom screamed. A mark. Like little teeth. We still don't know what it is. Now I'm not allowed to play with Jenny, or the hole, Dad filled it up. Just as well, I guess. Jenny's a jerk.